Okay, so we're on the next box of custom repairs. We're on box 40. So, a couple of Midlands here. We'll start with the bottom one. So I'm not being selective. I'm doing set number 2 first. So 77104, this one powers up. Unknown. So what is it? Is it 77104D? So that's the later version with the coming on channel 9 switch. Yeah. So you can always tell this one because the channel 9 switch doesn't say, sorry, I'll start again. The channel selector switch doesn't have a 9 position because this isn't a real channel switch, it's a rotary encoder. So it's no different to up down buttons. So what I need, so this isn't a porter pack, this is, don't confuse this with the 77805. This is the baby Midland. So this is the later one of the two. There's also a CPT version. I did have one of those, and then I realised that CPT was no good in this area. So I'm going to just see if I can find a mic, which we've hopefully made up for a Midland. So I'll look. Okay, see what happens. So they always start on channel 9. I'll turn the squelch down. We'll plug this mic in and see if anything happens. No, it's gone straight into transmit, so that's not the right one. I'll tell you what, we'll have to just see if I can find. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's so realistic as well. I'll just have a see if I can find a Midland with a mic. So I've got 77099 Midland on the shelf with this dinky electret mic. It might not be able to, this might not power it. I don't expect it will, but at least we'll get somewhere. Yeah. Good. So it keys it up and it enables the receive to come through. So put it on channel 20. We'll get the clipboard. Always put the serial number down, that really helps me. So it's 77104D UK. That's important. The transmit, let's go to 3 watt scale. Oh, even low power, that's rubbish. No, we're not in low power. I can see this is intermittent. It's doing 1.2 watts. So I'll go to channel 40. And it's doing 1.15 watts. Go to channel 1. And it stopped transmitting. We've got a dry joint in the VCO. So I'm going to have to get rid of that or we can't go any further. So it's working, not working, working, not working. Can you hear it's just come back? So we'll just carry on with that test. I'll try not to disturb it. 1.15. Don't think we'll get any deviation because of the wrong mic. No, it stopped working again. Oh, it's working. Working, not working, working, not working. Wallow. Wallow. I'll just put my monitor receiver on. Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, it can't work with that mic. I'll have to get Mr. Chippy to make a mic up. Oh, hang on, there's a Midland behind me. There's a 77104 behind me. I'll borrow the mic off that. But we'll do that in a moment when we've got this dry joint situation looked at. Transmit current on channel 20 is 558 milliamps. I think the screwdriver expert has turned this down. It reads a full set of bars, you know, but it's only doing 1.1 watts. So, what else? Frequency. Put that camera on for you. 79082 before it backed in again. So we get that on the signal generator till it packs in again. I'll get it somewhere near so that it's fair. Plug in the test equipment into the extension speaker. Switch the cyanide meter on. These have a nasty synthesizer noise like that Giessen handheld did. Where so at the moment it's doing a very healthy 0.58 microvolts. The 10 dB is doing 0.5. The 20 dB it is doing 1.6. Squelch, it's concentric, so it's constantly knocking the volume control as well. Full's 100 microvolts, which is absolutely as it should be. I'll put int operation dry joints question mark. So they want to see where it is at the sensitive end. Can't tell because it's dry. There's squelch is noisy. Right, we're going to have to open it up, but at least we managed to have it working enough to see the kind of figures it's got, and that receives excellent at the moment. So dreary transmit, good receive. I'm going to have to take all the lids off, aren't I? So it's pointless just taking 2 screws out. May as well take all 4 out from each side. Now usually there's I think if I remember the model right, there's a screen plate on the printed circuit print side, and usually the dry joint is a pesky one under there. It wouldn't be some way you could get to it easily. Oh no, no, no. That'd be far too easy. It has to be somewhere under a hidden screen plate. This had ingress of moisture at the back. But that said, our intermittent's going to be somewhere around this area. So I'm going to turn the power off. We'll get the isopropyl alcohol out. Get Mr. Chippy's toothbrush out. So that'll help that stop rotting the board. Now I can't see any dry joints, so they must be under the shield plate. So I can see one there. Only needs to have one, doesn't it? Potential one there. So we know it's going to be in the VCO section because stroke synthesizer, because it affects both transmit and receive. So switch the power back on. That's my first wave. Right, well it's pretty solid at the moment. We'll leave the shield plates out until we've satisfied the set's going to tune up. I've got some notes for these sets, but right now we'll Just make sure there's nothing I can make go off. No. There's something that doesn't smell right. You know what? That capacitor's getting hot. Well, it says 480, but it shouldn't be getting hot. I'll put a new one in. Make sure I put a 25 volt rated one in. Alright, try again. Good. Right, let's see if we can tune this transmitter up. So 1 point something watts. That's not got a core in it. Should it have a core in it? Anyway, you got to. I think there's a power. Preset on these. I'll have to look up our service notes. Sometimes I remember to scan and file away the photos we do on previous videos, and this is one I have. Yes, TX power is the preset there, and no, that shouldn't have a core in it. If I can get this done in the next 15 minutes, we can scratchy corner test it today. It's got some crud in it. Is that to seal it? Yeah. Oh, that brings it up. Go into the 4 watt range. I'm going to just put it on full whack for a moment. And there we are at 4 watts. Let's bring it on frequency. Will do. 27,79124. 4 watts. Change channel. Channel 40. 4.05 watts. Channel 1. 3.95 watts. Channel 20, current consumption 1.126 now. Low power, we couldn't test that before, the set was too intermittent. That's all over the place. Is there a low power preset on these? No, I wonder if the switch is a bit dirty. .300 milliwatts as I'll put that down, but it's not adjustable. We can't do deviation unless we take this mic off this radio, so we don't want an avalanche of radios from the shelf behind me. Wallow. So let's see where the deviation was. I've not altered it. Wallow. 3.2. So that needs to come down a fraction. Let's see. Which is deviation? Voila. Just a little over the top. Voila. That's spot on now. Right. So 2.2 to 2.5 peak. We're not doing the VCO. It was lighting 3 lights. It's supposed to light 4. It's supposed to be 1 on low power and 4 on high power, and that's exactly where it is. The preset for it is there, but it is spot on. It was reading 3 before because it was a low output. We'll come to that. It hasn't got that. Low high power switch cleaned. Doesn't have one of those. We're going to do squelch possibly, and just have a look at that now the set's working. Right, I think we've done everything that transmit needs to have done. Yeah. And the receive's working great, so we'll go through that now. Remembering to put the signal generator on 2779125 now. Yeah, this sensitivity's gone down. I don't know what's happened. Anyway, we'll go through it. Tell you what, we'll do the detector first. Put S9 equivalent on the signal generator. Switch to the oscilloscope. Bit out. But right now, sensitivity is 2.2 microvolts. Where's that gone? You know what, I'm going to put the shield plate back on and the cover because that's all that's changed. I'll just put one screw in so it doesn't disappear and short everything out. Right, so we'll do this S meter. We're at S9 100 microvolts, and the S meter preset is there. And that's where it should be on the third light, because the next one's plus 30. Turn the signal generator up, it comes. That's everything, isn't it? Oh, squelch. It was correct, see if it still is. I wanted to clean that control. I felt I needed to clean the control. Let's just take the signal generator off. Yeah, I think it needs cleaning. Yeah, that's better. Right, squelch to full. $100 microvolts. Put this on. Minimum squelch. Set threshold. Signal generator back on. 0.27 of a microvolt to come in is fantastic. Right, so these figures are wrong. I think I must have knocked the switch on the test set to the other mode. Let's put the sound meter on, I'll show you what I mean. So if we put this to 12 dB, like that, so we've got 12 dB standard. I've got you know, like 0.6 microvolts. If I flick this to EMF mode, which is the correct one, we've got just a fraction worse than 1 microvolt. See where that is. It's 1.1, and that's where you'd expect this to be. I wouldn't have expected it to be 0.5 microvolts. These sets don't tend to be. So I think I flicked that switch. So these before figures, it's wrong. So we've made very little improvement to the receiver, and then we find that the figures are wrong anyway. So I don't know where they were before, but it's now 1.1 microvolts, which is what you'd expect. It's 0.95 microvolts, and it's a very reasonable 3. So the next day I've come back to this. We're still at about 1.2 microvolts. I'd like it to have been under 1, but it isn't, and I can only apologise for giving the wrong figures in the first place. Let's just put this, I'm just going to put the inset picture on, and I'm just going to put it to the camera over to the attenuator switch. I'll just show you what I mean. If I'm moving the junk out of the way. It's like the Golden Shot. That was a TV show back in the days when there were such things as televisions. So you've got this EMF or PD for potential difference or electromotive force, and we usually have it in this position, which is the hardest to achieve. And I just think that when I was doing the attenuator, I just knocked that switch over, and so we've got a better reading. So we've got a ×1 switch to the right. This is the other error I can make. We've got off, in which case we get the red light on when I'm doing the squelch. Then we've got the ×1 position, and then we've got ×10. So 1 microvolt becomes 10 microvolt inputs. That's the other mistake I can make. It's easy to knock either of those switches or both. So we normally have that in ×1, and we have the other one in EMF. So that's my error. So I'll put this together. It's been listening on channel 19 all day. I'm sure it's going to work all right round Scratchy Corner. And the other reason I wanted this set not finishing yesterday was so that we could prove whether the dry joints had been dealt with, and it seems that they have. So we'll just pop some screws in this. So I did change another capacitor in the receiver. I just felt that it was in a position where, because we had problems with that one there. I think it's been overvolted at some time, and I just looked at other places where something could affect. Now, had that capacitor not played up, I'd never have known. But you know, now these sets are the age they are, most of the time it's not the original owner. They've been bought at car boot sales and ex-bereavement sales and all that kind of stuff, so you just don't know what's happened in the past. So we've got the screen plate back on this. Let's put the speaker back on. Got another parcel from our mystery benefactor Alan today. Thank you, Alan. It's a homemade power supply. So we've put that in box 51. And so we'll get round to that. So at the moment we're doing one of our jobs to a customer job, one of our jobs customer job, to make it fair. So I'll just unplug the extension speaker now. Yep, that works alright. And we'll put some more screws on it, and we'll remember that we've borrowed this mic. So we dealt with that corrosion at the back of the set, didn't we, if you remember? Oh, I've got it on the aerial, silly fool. Of course I've got it on the aerial. That's why we're hearing 19 from Nottingham. There'd be something wrong with the dummy load if I was hearing the dummy load on the dummy load from Nottingham. 190, Roger. Look at the wear around the logo. Somebody's had a lot of use out of this.
Can you hear me?
190, Roger.
Other side of Lincoln. I'm getting you.
8 rusty screws. A scratchy corner, here we come. So thanks for watching the Midland 77104D UK. I think these were about 1987.